Hello students, today we are looking at simultaneous inequalities. Simultaneous inequalities. Show the region which satisfies simultaneously by the inequalities 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 8. X minus 2y greater than or equal to minus 3. X is greater than or equal to 0. Y is greater than or equal to 0. So now, if you want to do this, first of all, let's get the coordinate for 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 8. Now you're having this, realize that you have 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 8. So substitute when x is 0, what will be the value for y? So substitute 0 for x. So 2 into bracket 0 plus 3y is equal to 8. 2 times 0 is 0. So you are left with 3y is equal to 8. So 3y is equal to 8. To get y, divide both sides by 3. When you divide it by the coefficient of y, which is 3, so you now have y left here is equal to 2.7. So the coordinate of that point is when x is 0, y is 2.7. So let us get the coordinate for the other one also. When y is 0, what will be the value of x? Substitute 0 for y. So you're having 2 plus 3 times 0 should be equal to 8. So 3 times 0 is 0. So that means you are left with 2x is equal to 8. So to get the value of x, divide both sides by what? 2, the coefficient of x. So the value of x 2 cancel to remaining what? X should be equal to 8 divided by 2 is 4. So when x is 4, y is 0. Now let us try to plot these coordinates. So now when x is what? 0, we are told the first coordinate when x is 0, y is 2.07. When x is 0 on this point, y is 2.7. If this is 2, I use 2 centimeters to represent 1 unit. So that means one line here is what? 0.1. If this is 2, 2.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7 will be here. So I'm going to mark this point. So this is when x is 0, y is 2.7. And the other one, when x is 4, y is 0. X is 4 at this point, y is 0. So now you are going to join it together with a broken line. With a straight line, because it's also involve equality sign. It says 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 8. So because of that, you join it together with a straight line. So join the two coordinates with a straight line. So I'm having it like this. Now, so join it together with a straight line. We need to know where we are going to shade now. We want to decide where we are going to shade. You realize that this line divided this graph into two parts. This region and this other region. From this region is where you are having x is 0, y is 0. From this region is where you are having x is 0, y is 0. If we now substitute when x is 0, y is 0 into the equation, so when x 2 is times 0 plus 3 times 0 less than or equal to 8, this one will give us 0 plus 0 less than or equal to 8. 0 plus 0 is 0 less than or equal. Is it true that is 0 is less than 8? Yes, it is true. Since it is true that 0 is less than 8, so it means we are going to shade this side of the graph. We are going to shade this side of the graph. So to shade it, I'm going to have this. So I'm shading this side of the graph. So I've shaded that. Now let's go to the second inequality. So the second inequality we are having x minus 2y greater than or equal to minus 3. X minus 2y greater than or equal to minus 3. So we are going to get the coordinate for this also. So when x is equal to 0, what will be the value for y? So you substitute 0 for x, minus 2y is equal to minus 3. So 0 minus 2y give us minus 2y is equal to minus 3. To be able to get y, we will divide both sides by the coefficient of y, which is minus 2. Divide both sides by minus 2. Minus 3 divided by minus 2 will give us plus y is equal to minus 3 divided by minus 2. Minus divided by minus will give us plus. So 3 divided by 2 will give us 1.5. So when x is 0, y is 1.5. So the other coordinates, when y is 0, x will be equal to what? So substitute 0 for y. X minus 2 into bracket 0 is equal to minus 3. So we having x minus 2 times 0 is what? 0. So a remaining x is equal to minus 3. So when x is minus 3, y is 0. So we plot it. Since we call it a simultaneous inequality, we are going to plot everything on the same graph. We will be plotting everything on the same graph. So that on this same graph, I'm going to plot when x is 0. When x is 0, y is 1.5. When x is 0 on this point, y is 1.5. 1.5 should be here. This 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 is here. So I'm going to mark it. Then the other coordinate, when y is minus 3, x is 0. At this point, y is minus 3 and x is 0. I'm going to plot it. So since the equations also involve equality sign, I will join these two with a straight line. I will join it together with a straight line. I will join it together with a straight line. So I'm having a straight line. So you realize that this line has divided this graph into two, this part of the graph and this upper part. So from this part of the graph is where you are picking the point x is 0, y is 0. From this part of the graph, you pick x is 0, y is 0. So I will check if you substitute when x is 0, y is 0. So if you substitute 0 for x and y is 0, 2 times 0 will give us 0. 0 minus 0 is what? 0. So the question says that the statement says that 0 is greater than minus 3. Is that true? Yes. 0 is greater than minus 3. And since we are picking that it from this lower part of the graph like this, so it means we are going to shade this part of the graph. So I'm going to use another symbol to shade it. So let me use this. So I'm going to use this. So this shows that this is the part I'm shading. 0 is, so this is the part I'm shading. Now, so I've been able to shade it. Then the other part says that, so I've been able to shade this part. Then the other part of the question, we are having x is greater than or equal to 0. X is greater than or equal to 0. So how will you get this line? You come to x. Now on x, you are going to draw an horizontal line. You are going to draw a vertical line on x. So that means the vertical line will fall on the y-axis. So when x is what? 0. So the vertical line will eventually fall on the y-axis. So that means which side is greater than 0? So you realize this side is the side that is greater than 0. So this side are greater than 0. So that is the side I'm going to shade. So I'll use another symbol to shade it. So this is the side that is greater than 0. So this is the side that is greater than 0. This is the side that is greater than 0. Now, the last part says that y is greater than or equal to 0. Y is greater than or equal to 0. So on y, I'm going to draw an horizontal line on 0, which will fall on x axis. So if you draw an horizontal line on 0, so which side is greater than 0 on y? So realize that this part here is greater than 0 on y. So I'm going to shade it with another symbol. Now you will notice something. Our work here now looks clumsy. Normally the solution of the graph is where you will find the four solutions coming together. The first symbol you use to shade, where all the shades meet. If you look at it very well, all the shade where you shaded, everything meets at this point. This to this to this and this is the region where all the shading are. So if you look at it, it is this place I'm shading like this. So you realize that, but because this method is going to look very clumsy, so if you use this, if you shade it like this, it will be difficult for you to get all where you are expected to your solution. So it's the reason why if you are given this type of question, you must learn to work abstractly. You decide the place to shade in your mind, then you will now look at where the four lines bounds, which should be the solution of the graph we are looking for. Now let's do that on a new graph. So I'm going back to the first line equation. So the coordinate, when you want to get the line 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 0. So when x is 0, y is 2.7, and when x is 4, y is 0. So I'll plot it again. When x is 0, here y is 2.7. So 2.7, 2.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 2.7 when y is 0. When x is 0, this is y 2.7. And when x is 4, this is x for y is 0 here. So you are going to join it together with a straight line because it involves equality sign. You join it together with a straight line. So this is the line. No, in your mind, you know that what? When x is 0, y is 0. So you realize that 0 is less than or equal to 8. So this statement is true, and you pick it from this side of the graph. You know you have to shade this side. So have into your mind, you are supposed to shade this side of the graph. Then let's draw the second graph. The second graph says that when x is 0, y is 1.5. X is 0 here, y is 1.5. Y is 1.5, 1.1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you are going to plot it. and the other coordinate, when x is minus 3, y is 0. X is minus 3 at this point, y is 0. So you plot it. So you join it together with a straight line. Join the two together with a straight line. So we've been able to join. So to get the place you have to shade, so you realize that this is x0, y0. You are picking it from this part of the graph. So that means when you substitute x0, y0, you realize what? 0 is greater than minus 3, and that statement is true. So you know in your mind you have to shade this part of the graph. Then the third line we are to construct says that x is greater than or equal to 0. X is greater than or equal to 0. So if you draw a vertical line on here, this line, this x line, the vertical line on here will falls on y axis. So it means that this side is a side that is greater than or equal to 0. In your mind, be noting all these lines. Then the last part, when y is greater than or equal to 0, the side where y is greater than or equal to 0. So on y, still this center 0. You now draw an horizontal line which falls on x axis here. So this side is greater than or equal to 0. If you observe it, the whole solution will converge at this point. So this line like this line and this line. So that is just where you will shade, showing that this is the solution of what you are looking for. So instead of getting the first method we used, which looks clumsy and confusing, you know that by time you finish, all the lines where these lines you have done are bounded are where the solution of what you are told to look for. Now let's look at another example. Show the region which satisfies simultaneously the inequalities. 4x minus y is less than or equal to 10. 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 12. X is greater than or equal to 1. Y is greater than or equal to minus 2. So first of all, we need to get the coordinates of these ones. When 4x minus y is less than or equal to 0. So when x is 0, what will be the value for y? So substitute 0 for x. 4 times 0 minus y is equal to 10. So when 4 times 0 is 0, remaining minus y is equal to 10. So to get y, not minus y, divide both sides by minus 1. Minus divided by minus is plus. So that means plus y will now be equal to plus divided by minus will give us minus 10. So that means we'll be having y equals minus 10. So when x is 0, y is minus 10. Then the other coordinate, when y is 0, what will be the value for x? So substitute 0 for y. So 4x minus 0 is equal to 10. So 4x will be equal to 10. So you divide both sides by 4. So when you divide both sides by 4, the value for your x will be what? 10 divided by 4 will give us 5 over 2, is same thing as 2.5. When x is 2.5, y is 0. So you pick your graph, you try to plot the graph. So the first coordinates, when x is 0, y is minus 10. X is 0 on this point, y is minus 10 here. So we are going to plot. On this graph, I use for x axis, that is 1 centimeter to represent 1 centimeter to represent 1 unit on both axes. Then when x is 2.5, y is 0. X is 2.5 at this point, y is 0. So at the middle here, so each line here will represent 0.2. So if this to 2.2, 2.4, 2.5 should be here. So I'm going to mark it. Now, since in the line we have equality sign, So I will join the two with a straight line. I will join the 2 points with a straight line. So I've joined the 2 points with a straight line. Now I need to know where to shade now. Realize that this line has divided this graph into 2 parts. It has divided it into 2 parts. I have this side of the graph and this side of the graph. So I will check when x is 0, y is 0. When x is 0, y is 0. So now you realize that if I substitute it into this equation, 4 times 0 is 0, 0 minus 0, so 0 minus 0 is 0, 0 is less than 10. Is it true? Yes. So 0 is less than 10. Since that point is taken from this side of the graph, I'm going to shade this side. So I'll shade it in my mind so to avoid the clumsiness we found in the first question. Now let us now do the second equation. So this first one represents 4x minus y less than or equal to 10. So now for the second equation, so this one represents 4x minus y less than or equal to 10. Now for the second inequality, 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 12. 2x plus 3y is less than or equal to 12. Let's substitute here again. When x is 0, so 2 times 0 plus 3y is equal to 12. So this one will give us 0. We are left with 3y is equal to 12. So to get y, you divide both sides by 3. So that we now have 3 divided by 3 here. You are left with what? Y is equal to 12 divided by 3 is 4. When x is 0, y is what? 4. Now when y is 0, what will be the value for x? So you are going to substitute y 0 is 2x plus 3 into bracket 0 is equal to 12. 3 times 0 will give us 0. 2x plus 0 is equal to 12. So you divide both sides by 2. 2x divided by 2 is equal to 12 divided by 2. 2 cancel 2, you are left with x here. 12 divided by 2 will give us 6. So when x is 6, y is 0. So we are going to plot the coordinate also. When x is 0 here, y is plus 4. So you plot it. When x is 0, y is plus 4. And when y is 6, when x is 6, y is 0. X is 6 at this point, y is 0. So you plot it. So you join it together with a straight line because it involves what? Equality sign. Join it together with a straight line. So now you realize that the x is 0, y is 0 is taken from this part of the graph. So we will now check what will be the we are going to check if we substitute into the equation, what is the result? When you substitute x for 0, y is 0. So 2 times 0 is 0 plus 0 is less than or equal to 12. 0 plus 0 is 0 less than or equal to 12. To realize since 0 is less than 12, this statement is true. So we will shade this part of the graph. So this part of the graph. So you take note of it. That's where we have to shade in your mind so that you'll be able to get the true solution. Now the other one, when x is greater than or equal to 1. X is greater than or equal to 1. Now where do you see 1 on x? This is 1 on x. So now you are going to draw a vertical line on 1. So this is it. To draw a vertical line, on x is equal to 1. So draw a vertical line. Since it's equal to greater than or equal to, you are going to draw it with a straight line. So that is it. So this line represents, so which side of x is greater than 1? Which side of x is greater than 1? Realize 2, 3, 4 like this side are greater, so that means you have to shade this side of the graph. Then the other one, it says that y is greater than or equal to -2. It means on y, when y is -2, you now draw an horizontal line. So that draw an horizontal line then. So on y is what? -2. Since it's equal to greater than or equal to -2, draw a straight line, so like this. So which side of y is greater than 2? So that means -1, 0, 1. So all the side up here. Now you will now notice that this is the first line we have done. Then this is the second line, the third line, the fourth line. So realize that about everything, the region required is now this space here. So that is the region you are going to shade. So the space in between the 4 lines. So this is the required region. This is the required region. So this is the region that state the solutions, solve the equations simultaneously. So for the work practice, you are going to do the following. Number 1, show on a graph paper the region for which x is greater than or equal to -1, y is greater than or equal to -2, 5x plus 6y less than or equal to 30, and 4x plus 9y less than or equal to 36. Satisfy the inequalities simultaneously. Number 2, illustrate graphically the set P of all points x and y which satisfies simultaneously the following inequalities. 2y is less than x plus 8, x plus 2y plus 4 is greater than or equal to 0, 3x is less than or equal to 2y plus 2, 12. 3. Solve each of the following graphically for integral values of x and y. A. Y is greater than or equal to 0, x minus y greater than 1, and 3x plus 4y less than 12. B. Y is greater than 1, y is minus x is less than 5, 2x plus y is less than or equal to 0. C. Y is greater than -2, x is greater than 0, 2x plus y less than 4. D. X plus y less than or equal to 2, x minus y less than or equal to 2, 2x plus y is greater than or equal to 2. Then E. Y is greater than 0, y is less than 4, 4x plus 3y is greater than 0, and 5x plus 2y is less than 10. Please ensure you like, subscribe and comment on this video. Thank you.